Hello everybody, it's your old pal Tuna here, back with another video. Welcome to another studio vlog and also art market vlog. It is the 22nd of September today, and tomorrow I am going to be going to a one-day craft fair fall market thing, and much in the spirit of the last market that I did, which was literally a week ago tomorrow. I am basically doing no prep for this show. I did a whole bunch of prep for some shows earlier this year that has been rolling forward into all these one-day kind of more chill events that I've planned, but that certainly doesn't mean there's nothing to do. We gotta pack up the suitcase for the show tomorrow. I also need to weatherproof my stuff because it's kind of like a half outdoor show. We're under a roof, but it's still open air, and I don't know if you know a lot about Vancouver, Canada, but we have this thing called a lot of rain, and it starts tomorrow. It's been a beautiful summer, it's a beautiful day right now, but starting tomorrow it's gonna be rainy, so I have to make sure that everything that I will be doing with my display is rain/weatherproof, and otherwise kind of making my checklist of stuff to not forget tomorrow morning. If this is your first time here, hello, my name is Tuna, I'm an illustrator and comic artist, and I hope you'll enjoy this vlog. Let's go! Alright, that leaves my tasks pretty much complete. I think that I just need to print out some price label tags and then figure out exactly how I'm gonna display everything. For this show, I have a 6-foot space. I want to bring my garment rack to display the clothing and the tote bags as well as possible, so that's going to take up like 2 feet, and then I'm going to use my 4-foot table, and a 4-foot table is really small. Half of it is going to be taken up by my sticker display, and then the other half, I've elected to skip bringing my prints because, I don't know, People buy them, I guess, but like they're just not as exciting as stuff like the enamel pins and the books that I have. But I'm very much looking forward to tomorrow. So I want to get this suitcase packed now and not forget anything. Last weekend I forgot my packaging materials like my plastic sleeves and bags. But as long as I have my square reader and stuff to sell, I can get through. We were literally in the Uber and Mark was like, hey, don't you need a table? So I'm back home grabbing the table so that I can set up my stuff. So ends Etsy Co-Market. Super fun day. Weather could have been a lot worse. Vibes could have been a lot worse. Let's check in later about it, shall we? Could really go for a ring light right about now. So friends, hello. It is still the same day. I just got changed to go get some sushi. Let's talk about the market. This was called, sorry if you can hear my son screaming in the background. He is zoomies. Probably needs to use the restroom and demands my attention. So this was the Etsy Co Fall Craft Market. Is what it's officially called. And this is run by two ladies who have done this for a few years. It was like pre-Pandy and then post-Pandy, I did this market in the winter version, and it was in a different location, and they were charging a cover fee. That one that I did last year was a 2-day event, and over the course of those 2 days, I made my money back on the first day, and then I made profit on the second day that was equivocal to the money that I'd made on the first day. So not like a great market for a 2-day thing. And it left me wondering if I wanted to keep going to these particular brand of events. But because this one was in a different location, and I had heard from other vendors that that location was much better, when they opened applications, I was like, yeah, okay, it's one day. I'll give it a try. And the nice thing about these organizers is they're very committed to creating a market that is like full of diverse vendors. So there's a bunch of people doing a lot of different stuff. And so it ends up attracting a pretty large gathering of people who are all interested in different things. And then you can kind of get exposed to things that you maybe wouldn't have gone to a market for in the first place, if that makes sense. And the ladies who run it are just so lovely that it was like, you know, yeah, I wanted to give it a try. Mark helped me haul all my stuff to the place for setup. My dad picked me up and drove me home. And the time went by really quickly. I kind of love these one-day markets because I can set up really quickly and take down really quickly. So it's just easy for me to just like show up, 8 hours, make some money, go home. Don't have to like come back the next day. And I made money. Yay! I made a pretty decent amount of money. My expenses were like, I can't exactly remember how much the table cost, and like I was having trouble finding it in my records, so I'll have to like deep dive for that. But I think it was about 300 Canadian dollars in expenses for the table and then the Uber in the morning. And my gross sales were about $1,300. So pretty good for one day, pretty good for a $300 investment, coming out with $1,000 for a day's work. And as we've talked about before, that is my gross sales number. So there's a lot of other expenses that come out of that, specifically regarding the cost of the product to make. But that's kind of the, it's kind of like the amount of money that I want to be making at these sorts of events. And it's been up and down all year, so I'm glad that last weekend at Word Festival was about the same kind of like percentage turnover, and then same with this weekend, this one-day event. So yeah, got myself a couple of W's in a row to get me through what's going to be a very busy fall and winter season in terms of doing markets. I think I have like 7 or 9. And I might take on another one, might do the winter market again for this event, but like I have to see how much it costs because yeah, I don't know. But anyway, I wanted to tell you guys some stuff about like what happened during the day. One of the craziest things about this event is probably the first time that this has ever happened. My sales across all of my items were super even. So where I would usually go to an event and there'd be like one thing that was like I forget what, there's like a word when you're a business person that's like the thing that you sell the most of that floats your business. I want to call it a unicorn, but I don't think that's what it is. But at this one, it was like sticker sheets, single stickers, comics, apparel, and pins. I sold lots of all of them, which is so great because nothing is more annoying than bringing something to a show and selling like literally none of it, which happens all the time. This one had a lot of people who are like in my demographic, and I know when you're like a good business person, you'd have a really firm grasp on your demographics and blah, 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 but I don't really love that side of running a business, but I do know who my demographic is. There was also a ton of people who came up and were like, I watch you on YouTube, or like, I came because you posted this on Instagram. And honestly, like, you don't even understand how nice that is to hear. Like, especially because a lot of what I do is kind of just putting things out and not necessarily really knowing who it's affecting or like who's watching or who's consuming my sweet content. So I always really appreciate when people take the time to let me know that they, know me from the internet world. I was also really lucky to be like behind somebody that I knew who is another like local comic pin sort of anime adjacent creator. And that just made a world of difference. The other people who were next to me were nice too, but it's always nice to just have someone who like gets it and who you like know you can be friendly with through a show. The neighbors kind of like can make or break it for sure. So shout outs to Sonia and shout outs to Ronald, who's like this local legend, like helper at cons and shows, who was also there, who was able to relieve me for water breaks and bathroom breaks. So if you watch this, thanks Ronald, I really appreciate it. Okay, and something that really I didn't think was gonna stick with me, but like I just went out for sushi and I was like reading a comic and kind of just in my own head a little bit, and this guy's words were echoing in my mind. So he came up to my table. He's like a 50-something-year-old man. He had an accent that was like Italian or maybe Middle Eastern or something like that. And he just kind of starts talking about like asking me questions about the business and what I do and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like being friendly. And then like he's standing around, I'm like trying to serve customers, and I kind of realized that he's a talker. We call them barnacles, booth barnacles, people who come and like kind of really take up your time. But he was nice about it, and so I was humoring him, and he was telling me that he's like a painter, and he was going on about business. I was starting to get like mansplaining vibes, but he ended up kind of talking about like you can be a self-employed person or you can run a business. And the way that he described it, that's been echoing in my mind, is do you run a business or does your business run you? And I was kind of like, bro, like I feel that hard, because what he was saying was like, you know, are you working like a ton and not maximizing your time, like so that you can be creative, kind of, because that was sort of what it was all about. At the end of the day, it felt like he was trying to sell me like some sort of cult. I don't know what his angle was. He's like, I know all these entrepreneurs and we're gonna reach out to you, and I'm like, okay. And he's like, they've got ideas. I'm like, oh, all right. But at the end of the day, this, you know, do you run your business or does your business run you? I think that's a good sentence to ponder, because I have been feeling pretty run down, and like it's hard sometimes to see what the path out of like being a workaholic and overworking myself might be, because I can do it now, but can I do it in 10 years? Like probably not. Like would I want to do it in 10 years? I don't know. Where do I want to be in 10 years? Who's to say? But I thought that was kind of a fun thing. Fun, not really. I thought that was kind of like a poignant message to kind of keep in the back of your mind if some of you guys are like doing the same thing, or like you're also struggling with like time management between the business side of things and the making art side of things. And then I don't have another show for another 2 weeks, I think. Could you be more interruptive, Nori? I think it's another 2 weeks before I have another show, but that one's gonna be so cool because it's not a market, it's like this community event called the Art Crawl, and I'm gonna be putting all my stuff up in a local brewery. You're gonna have a little booth, gonna be selling my stickers and my wares, but I'm also gonna be doing like a demo, kind of creating this like interactive sort of thing, which probably makes it sound a little bit more than it's gonna be, but it's gonna be really cool, and obviously it's gonna be a vlog. Because if you can't monetize your life, are you even living? So I did not actually realize when I was filming that clip that that would end up being the end of the video, but we have reached the 20-minute mark. So it's Future Tuna here to say thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end of this video, I highly recommend that you subscribe to the channel because there's all kinds of more cool and similar and different stuff on the way. Don't forget to like before you leave, and if you also want to drop me a comment down below, just let me know your responses to like anything that I said in this video. I do a lot of talking. I often do a lot of talking, and it's very nice to know your opinions about the stuff that I talk about too. One final thank you to my lovely patrons over in my snack pack on Patreon. Without their support, I would not be able to be making these weekly videos, so thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you are over there supporting me at the $1 tier, or if you are pledging for a mailable reward at the $10 or $25 tiers, I love all of you equally, and I couldn't do it without you. Stay sparkly, don't let the cruel world dull your shine, and I will see you next time. By the way, Nori did this, and he's running around like a madman in the background because that's just the vibe today. See ya. All right, my tasks are pretty much complete. The only thing left to do is go downstairs and grab